What is going on, guys? Rewinds here, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing Boruto Manga Chapter 66. But first off, let me just say, this image in the background of Jigen that you're seeing in this video is mainly there because I don't want to risk getting hit with a copyright strike. I don't know if you guys saw my earlier video, but I did get hit with one, unfortunately, so I'm trying to play it safe for now until I can hopefully get it resolved, or until I wait till it expires. We'll see what happens with that. But that's the reasoning why you're not going to see manga panels. And a tip for anybody that also does anything having to do with reviewing mangas or anything like that, just try to avoid showing panels, and your channel will just be a lot more safer that way. But anyway, let's talk about the chapter. This chapter was pretty eventful. Probably one of my favorites in a while for Boruto, so I'm very glad it turned out the way it did. So we start off with the flashback to what Amado is telling Kawashiki about karma and wanting the power. So it turns out that Amado apparently reconstructed karma when he was replacing Kawaki's right arm way back when. So the only thing is that in order to trigger this, Kawashiki needed a big final push to get it back. And that turned out to be a life or death situation for the person he cares about most in the world, Naruto. So I think that's a good way for him to get it back. I think I would consider that to be a piece of good writing. So I'm glad they did it that way. But what I am wondering, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering too, is what is up with Amado? How does he know how to reconstruct a karma mark? Or just how does he know how to bring karma back in general? And there's so many questions about him too that I feel like we will get answered some point in the future, but I don't know when. But hopefully we get a lot of info, because we know Amado's really smart. That's mainly what we know. We know he's suspicious, and this guy's capable of building things, well, building cyborgs, for example, that are on the realm of Naruto and Sasuke's power to make things crazy enough. So Amado has a lot of uses in this series. Hopefully we do get more insight on him sometime later down the road. But anyway, so Code figures out this information about Amado through Ada, because Ada makes the guess that he might have reconstructed it. And obviously Code has to speak out loud to talk to Ada. So Shikamaru notices that Code has an ally. And I think that's going to play a role later down the road after this is all said and done, because I do not think Code is going to die here. I don't think Code is going to die until he gets his limiters removed and someone beats him when he's at his full strength. I don't know exactly what he's going to do later down the road, but for now I think he's just going to stay a spectator for a little while. Maybe he'll do something next chapter, but we'll see. But I do think Shikamaru getting this information is going to play a role later down the story as well, and I do think Shikamaru is going to survive this arc. So we then get Kawashiki versus Borushiki. And Kawashiki is now using Ishiki's techniques along with his own in combination to fight off Borushiki. And it seems like he's on even playing grounds now with Borushiki now. And it also seems like at certain points that he might even be beating Borushiki. So this is pretty crazy. Also, shout out to the art this month for the action, because I know the original Naruto, if you saw the manga, you would see that the art's a lot more detailed, the visuals, just in general, the paneling, everything's just better, because we have, Kishimoto, the original author, drawing everything. So, but this is a big step up right now in Boruto compared to what we used to get at the start of Boruto. So it is an improvement. And it didn't look bad. It looked like a good fighting chapter. I can give it that. I know a lot of people critique the art and the paneling for it. Hopefully this one satisfied you guys a little more. I personally thought it was better, but I do understand that a couple chapters ago, some of the ways the fights look were getting really boring, and I do agree that the overuse of like the speed lines they do sometimes in the chapters can make fights a little bit boring. But yeah, Code says as this battle goes on, he's wondering if Amado's trying to make Kawaki a second coming of Ishiki in a way, but stronger because he has Ishiki's techniques, and at the same time, he's going to have his own techniques. So maybe Amado has some type of big scheme of trying to make Kawaki the strongest for some particular reason, to use him for something. That's something else we're going to have to see what happens with later down the road. Then we have Naruto talking into Kawaki over here because he sees these techniques and he's asking him pretty much what's going on. And Kawaki tells Naruto not to move because if he moves, Shikamaru's going to die. And he says that he doesn't really care, but he knows that Naruto cares about Shikamaru. But Kawaki does also say the thing that he'll do whatever he must for Naruto. So no matter what, as long as Naruto's safe, he'll do anything. That's pretty much the point he was trying to get across. Then we get a whole bunch of action again for about another 8 to 10 pages. And one shot I really did like was reminiscent of the Rasengan versus Chidori type of paneling, where we got Rasengan versus Kawaki's hand. I thought that was a cool shot. So honestly, I can't wait for all of this to eventually get animated. This is probably going to be one of the best looking fights in the show, if given the proper staff, of course. But I think they will, because this is a pretty big fight. And I don't know when we're going to see it in the anime, but I don't know why. I got this feeling we're not going to get it till at least towards the end of 2023, if not 2024. I really feel like we're going to be stuck in anime canon content for a long, long time. So moving on, something else I thought was worth pointing out was that Kawaki did end up hitting Borushiki eventually with his rods, and he was about to finish him off with the cubes, but then Naruto, who's still in Sage mode, actually rescued him. And this was pretty risky because Code could have decided to kill Shikamaru, but he didn't, because everybody's so focused on this Kawaki versus Borushiki battle now that Code didn't really care as much to do what he said he was going to do to Shikamaru, but he's still holding him hostage. And then Naruto tries to talk some sense into Kawaki, and Kawaki's pretty much trying to tell him that Boruto is possessed by a demon, so the only way to take care of this is by killing Boruto and taking him out. But Naruto responds by calling Kawaki a demon if he does what he's saying he's going to do. So pretty intense argument between these two. And Kawaki pretty much tells Naruto that he needs to face reality, that this is the only way to make everything work out properly and to keep him safe. Boruto then regains consciousness partially, and what happens is that Momoshiki is kind of alarmed now that Boruto's regaining his consciousness, and Boruto's now trying to suppress Momoshiki. The only reason he even got his consciousness back so fast, supposedly, is because of these pills that Amado gave. And then Boruto asks Kawaki if he remembers the promise they made, and that was Kawaki saying that he would get rid of Boruto's karma no matter what. So Naruto knows something rash is about to happen over here, so he goes up to Boruto. He says, "What are you doing? Don't do anything reckless." And Boruto just says to Naruto to give his best to Hinata and Himawari and that he's sorry to Naruto. And then he kind of surprises Naruto and hits him with a wind-style Gale Palm attack. And Naruto doesn't really get hurt by it, but he does get sent back a little bit, which gives time for the next thing to happen, which is Kawaki piercing Boruto through the chest. And that is Boruto's way of hopefully killing off Momoshiki. That's what he's hoping for here. So Boruto resorted to that now. He felt like he was pushed to the point where he had to die now in order to keep his family, his friends, and everybody safe, because he almost killed his dad, like he said in the chapter. And then the chapter ends off with Naruto screaming Boruto, and Boruto down on the ground with his chest having a hole in it and bleeding. So Um, Overall, this was a great chapter to me. Probably the best chapter I have seen for Boruto personally, story wise, especially since the peak of the Ishiki arc. So it's been a year, and we've been getting a lot of setup for a while now. But we're finally at that point, I think, where we're about to hit a climax of a new arc, and I would say this is the climax part of it. And I think it's going to continue on at least for another 2 chapters or so. At least next chapter is going to still continue the climax, but I think this arc has at least about 3 chapters, I would say. Unless they want to make it even longer, but my personal guess is 5 chapters and then we get a time skip. And I say this because we have one more chapter till this current volume is complete, and I feel like what they're gonna do next month is leave a big cliffhanger for the next volume. That's how they get people to buy the next one. Um, and then they're gonna wrap up the arc at the beginning of the next volume, and then after that we're gonna have some aftermath and some setup, probably the next few chapters for the time skip. Probably a foundation for why a time skip should occur. Like, what are they gonna prepare for? Who's gonna be there? Who's not gonna be there? Um, Stuff of that sort. And I do think that that's the route they'll go. But I could be wrong. They could maybe go and start another arc up. I honestly wouldn't be surprised, because last time people thought after Ishiki that we were gonna get the time skip, but we didn't. And honestly, I'm not too mad about it. At first, I was kind of iffy, but this arc has been pretty good so far in the manga. So I think they made the right call, giving us more of a present arc uh, in the manga, as opposed to just rushing into the time skip. Overall, though, I'm going to give this chapter a 9 out of 10. Like I said, great chapter. The only reason I'm not giving it higher is one thing I would have liked to have seen towards the end is more of a internal struggle, like some type of panels that showed a struggle in Kawaki's head and Boruto's head. So Kawaki thinking like, damn, I gotta really kill him, like some type of internal struggle, and Boruto thinking in his head, wow, I'm really about to die, to show that at the end of the day, even though he's willing to do this, he's still just a kid. And I feel like the anime is gonna portray that better for sure. I think they're gonna expand on it, but I do wish the manga kind of added that in too. But that's my thing, and the other reason is, again, for the art and the paneling. I do think it was a big improvement over the last few months. The chapters have definitely had better art these last 2 months in particular for the action, but I do think it could still get better down the road. But 9 out of 10 for the chapter. Amazing chapter. Definitely go check it out. Let me know what you think, what's going to happen next month. I'm expecting some huge stuff. I'm expecting Naruto to get involved in a fight next month. And maybe, who knows, Sasuke will show up too. But I've been thinking that for the last 3 months, and Sasuke still hasn't shown up. But yeah, that's going to be it for my video. Be sure to leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. Hope you guys have a good day or night. I'm Rewinds.